All right. We are live streaming now. Hello. Welcome to the Alex Aquarius live stream, number 21. If you've been on the internet for a while tonight, you may have seen me try to start this thing a couple of times. I've had frame rate problems. I've had resolution problems, setting up OBS. But this isn't Ask Me Anything. Do you know me? Are you subscribed? I'm here to talk. A lot has happened, and I'm just sitting here, type a comment, and we'll chat about any topics that usually my channel represents, or anything that's interesting that's going on with, let's say, rabbit hole discussions, flat earth, physics, let's say secrets. Not into that so much, but let's talk about maybe whatever you want to talk about. Aliens, UFOs, whatever you'd like. Let's light it up, because I think it's working now finally. I'm just going to learn how to do this. And you know, when I started my YouTube channel, it was about 3-4 years ago now. I was living in my mother's condominium, and I had just sold a house, and I was up in the Dallas area in Texas, and then I came down to Houston to live with my father, who had cancer, and he passed away within 7 months after I got to Houston, and I was in his place living with him, nursing him. He eventually went into the hospital with an infection and never came out. And then, right then, my mother, she had a hip problem. No big deal, she's pretty healthy. But she couldn't walk anymore, and then after that became incontinent. Her husband couldn't take care of her, he's 93. So we put her in a home, in a nursing home in Clear Lake in the Houston area, near NASA. And she said, go live in my condo. You don't have to find an apartment or buy a house or anything. So I said, okay. So that's when I started my YouTube channel. And I had an older computer, some camera equipment that wasn't up to par. The sound is bad on a lot of my videos. But I have over 400 videos, I believe. But this channel has been throttled back, so a lot of times you don't see a lot of the things that I did. Excuse me. You won't find a lot of the videos that I have unless you type in the exact terms that are in my title or description or tags. And then you're going to have to scroll down. If you're one of those that knows what to look for and you know how to scroll. These days on YouTube, their first 200 hits are always mainstream news stations and anything they say about the topic you're looking for. And you know you have to just whip those past. And you have to go all the way down 300, 400 videos down. Then you start looking. Then you'll find me. But everything else in the beginning is all the major news stations. It's weird. You know, every time you search a topic, you get mainstream and second stream news stations, but it's not YouTube anymore, it's them tube. It's their tube, you know. So the platform is a little more restricted. It's harder to have fun like this chatting. Right now there's no one here yet. I'm sure if you're watching this on replay, enjoy it. But I would love to chat and give me some comments. Tell me how the video is doing, how the screen resolution looks, and if my movements and my talking match the sound and the volume sounds okay, that type of thing. I've had several problems this evening formatting this dang thing, and I've had to delete a couple of live streams as soon as I hit stop because of resolution, frames per second. And I've moved. I used to live in Houston, and my mother passed away in May, and she passed away from complications from COVID-19. So she got COVID last year, and she started the antiviral drug, remdesivir, and they only put that on there for 6 or 7 days. I made sure of that because if you remain on that, you can actually develop AIDS. You develop an immune system deficiency, immunodeficiency syndrome. So you don't want to stay on. And antiviral drugs keeps all of your viruses, even your antibodies and everything, from working. So if you keep taking the antiviral drug as a steady pill forever, you're not going to have any immunity. And that's what happened to people that had AIDS. It was, let's say, caused by other things that are realized now. So she was on that. She got off. She recovered. She lived. And she went back to the nursing home. And then after that, she was fine. And they came in and they were going to give her a COVID shot. And I was talking to my sister. We were both taking care of her. And I said, I used to work for a vaccine company. I've sold shots. And I said, don't give her a shot. She's already had COVID and recovered from it. Once you've recovered from a disease, you don't need a shot. That's never been in Immunology 101 or any practice, is that any type of immunization or a vaccine or a shot, the purpose of them is to give you the viral code to a new pathogen or something that's going to harm you or make you sick, right? So if your body doesn't know about it yet and you haven't contacted it from someone else, you can get an immunization. But if you've already had the disease and your body beat it and you're healthy again, that means your body's making antibodies for it and you don't need a vaccine or an immunization. So I don't know why. I think she probably had another 2 or 3. So these people and nurses, they just forget schooling or something. I don't know, but they think that these shots are like medicine. Like the more you get, the healthier you're gonna. And it does. Every time you get one, it wastes a lot of your white blood cells, T cells, macrophages, and your white antibodies. You know. And I think that's what wore her back down. And then she had a lot of breathing problems and problems with tissue in the lungs. And it's regrettable, you know. But she had been off and on very ill. She had a lot of infections that caused her to go into complete dementia, and she'd been in and out of the hospitals for 5 years, bedridden. So by the time she had the last bout of COVID, after she'd already survived it, it only took her maybe 2.5, 3 months. I was visiting her every week. I saw her actually the night she died. And so right after that, I had to move. So we sold condominium I was living in. We started remodeling it, and it was finished about 3 weeks ago, and we just sold it last week. So someone's bought it. And her idea for the proceeds of the property was to go to all of the grandchildren, which I think is super. So she has 17 grandchildren, and each one got about $5,000. And those checks just went out last week. So it's a good story. So what am I doing? I have been not making videos, and I just moved to Austin. And if you just saw my previous AMA video, number 20, I'm sorry if I'm repeating some information, but this is work out the bugs night for live stream. Because when I go on YouTube from now on, I'm just going to live stream. I'm not going to prepare and record videos anymore for now. And I may even make another channel when I get into health and eating right. I'm already eating right, and I'm already exercising. Still smoke occasionally and drink some beer, but man, I'm down from what I did. I was, with all of the stresses I had, not being able to work full time, taking care of mom, COVID, the pandemic, not being able to move around, there was a lot of stress. And then you're dealing with your family, you know, my brother, my sister, and there was a lot of arguments and things that were thought of, you know, what should be done with the condo and how mom should be taken care of. And mom's really sick, she might not make it through the night. You know, this was years ago, and then she kept bouncing back really well. So here at the end, I knew in the last time I visited her that I was not going to see her again. But I'm so happy that I got to see her. In fact, last time I kissed her, she wasn't responding, and I said, Mom, you can go, you can pass on. We don't expect you to stay here and like this, you know. You're miserable. You'll be happier if you go. You know? Which is odd. I said that, and I kissed her, and I said, I love you 3 times. And she passed away about 6 hours later. she might have been waiting, for. She couldn't really respond, and she was just slumped down in the pillow on the hospital bed. But maybe she was waiting for some confirmation from a family member that we expected her to go. Why hang around? And family members had visited her. So, right after that, in fact, the day of the funeral, I was in a Marriott hotel, and I went to the gym, and I was on a treadmill, and I overdid it, and I blew up my left knee, and I pulled 3 ligaments in my knee really bad. And I couldn't walk for about 6 or 7 weeks, and I had my leg elevated, I was in bed, I was immobilized, and I lost a lot of strength, I lost a lot of muscle. And right now I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm bouncing back, and I just moved to Austin from Houston. And I've got a nice place, and also fortunately the market has turned around in cryptocurrencies, and I've been invested heavily in cryptocurrency for about 4 years. Right after that crash in the peak in December of 2017 and January of 2018, that's when I started looking at cryptocurrency. I was going to get in when Bitcoin was $600 each, $500 each. And I thought, wait, let me give it another couple of years and see if this thing's going to... Now look at it. It's almost, it's near 50,000 now, but it's been as high as 64,000. But I do not own any Bitcoin. I own coins that are number 3 below Bitcoin. And there are some others that I have a lot of. And they're growing so much right now that I've moved and I've got a new apartment. And I'm not too much worried about working right at the moment, because I have some coins that I have in stake pools, what's called stake pools, and their residual, or let's say the rewards that I get every 5 days from that are enough to pay my bills. I actually have a passive income stream from wallets of electronic currencies that I've had for 4 years. That's big enough now in price that the residuals, or the rewards, which would be like interest on a regular, like a dividends or something, they pay every 5 days, and it's equal to about 6% a year, but it's enough to live on now. And as the price goes up, it gets to be more and more every 5 days. So I'm actually not doing too bad, but it was kind of depressing there. I had to work part-time. I couldn't work full-time. I work in the medical device industry, and there's only like 5 cities or areas in the U.S., and I was in leadership and headquarters, and I was in Dallas. So there's either Boston or the Research Triangle in North Carolina, or Dallas, or the San Francisco area, or Minnesota in St. Paul, Minneapolis area. Those are where your companies are that make things like pacemakers, heart valves, pain stimulators, which is what I did, and deep brain stimulators. I was involved in deep brain surgery. And I got out of all that right about the same time my dad started getting ill, and I sold my house and went down. So for the last 6 years, no, it was 2015, yeah, so the last 6 years, going on 7 years, I have been in not working in my career mode and investing in cryptocurrencies. And so now it's starting to pay off. So much so that I'm contacting a flight school here in Austin, and I'm going to learn how to fly. I'm even considering buying a used airplane, like a 152, so that I can take my lessons in my own plane. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on flying, and I've learned that if you have the cash and you buy your plane, it costs you a lot less money. Plus, you can rent out the plane to other instructors that can use it, and also for public use at an airport to rent a plane for recreational use. And it pays for your hangar space, and it pays for your maintenance. So if you're taking lessons and you buy the plane first, then all you have to pay is the instructor to get your license and your other fees or whatever you need to do for tests and materials, which is nice. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm a musician, so I'm looking to learn songs and sing, and I used to busk in the streets, like down in South America, right after my father died. I went to Chile for almost a year and played in the street. Man, when you're street performing, you get really good when you're doing it every day. I'm trying to get that back. I'm practicing at home. I got a new amplifier, a new guitar. I've got a new Fender Telecaster and an acoustic guitar the one I took to Chile. So I'm learning songs, thinking about flying, watching my cryptocurrencies. Mom's in a happier place. Dad's in a happier place. As far as YouTube goes, I hadn't really put up any videos because my view counts were going down. YouTube, for whatever reason, different topics had taken down several videos that I had, or they would block ones that I uploaded. Like I might upload a video about a certain anthropological topic that may be considered sensitive, where you look at other people on YouTube like anthropologists and they're talking about it and they've got a verified channel. But if I bring that up, man, they take me down and they threaten me. They say I'm not obeying community guidelines. I've never had a strike. But this channel may be dead as far as progress. I may have to make a new channel. It's probably going to be a motivation and health channel as I develop and get stronger and healthier, give up some bad habits, and do things a little differently, But I'm getting there already. Changed my diet. I was at one point trying to go almost completely vegan, occasional meat, But I since I lost so much weight, I decided to. Right now I'm eating protein. I'm eating eggs and beef. I'm eating avocados. I eat kale, cabbage, blueberries, peaches, bananas, and grapefruits. I hear grapefruits are really good for blood pressure and things like that. So I am getting healthier. My diet is healthier, and there are things going on. One of the interesting new things I've done is I had regression therapy last year. It was about, or was it this year? I think it was February this year. I went to a friend of mine. Actually, I went to high school with her. And she has become a regression therapist. She's got books written on spirituality and energies and things like that. And she's part of the Edgar Cayce group. She was taught to do hypnotism and regression therapy by Edgar Cayce's group, and she's one of the certified people there. She's good at it too because she regressed me. I had a alien encounter with my mother, in fact, that we both remembered. I have a video on this channel. There's a couple of videos about my alien encounter with my mother, and maybe some of you have seen that if you find this video. And I went to her to find more. I wanted to, my memory was blocked. Right after I had that experience, I didn't remember it. I remember that I remembered it like the day after and maybe a couple of days after. But after that, it just kind of dropped out of my memory. And now when I remember it, I remember remembering it. I don't know if my own mind and my own body blocked that out of my mind because it was so different from my reality that my brain didn't accept it. But I actually think that they blocked my memory of it because they actually had a device. It was just like you see in Men in Black. It was kind of a silver pen looking thing with buttons on it, and I held it. It's in the video, but I'm going to come out with I've learned something else about something. I was inside the craft, and some things that I thought I was doing, I was actually doing something else, which blows my mind. I was actually flying the craft and sitting at the controls, and we were going places. They were teaching me things and wanted me to know something. And I've heard other people have had experiences where they're flying with them and they show them like humans are destroying the planet and we need to stop destroying the planet and the atmosphere. Like those children, where was it, in Africa, that were in the schoolyard and the saucer landed in a field next to the school and the alien came out and talked to them telepathically and said, "You're ruining the earth, you need to clean it up and stop." I just saw that with what's his name, the UFO guy that has his own channel on UANM, and he's on Gaia. Dolan, Richard Dolan. And my experience was kind of similar. Another person that had a similar experience to mine that I've seen is a guy named Dan Burrish, when he interviewed on Project Camelot. So if there's anybody out there, what is going on? How are you? I'm going to run this live stream anyway and just let it go and talk, you know. If anybody remember Jamie Deluxe? He's the guy that used to expose all the pedo activities in Hollywood and the topics, and he would solve the mysteries. And sometimes he would go on live and just sit and answer questions and talk. And I know I've got like 400 videos out, and over the years, people have seen them, and they might have a question for me about making ormus, how to make Dead Sea salt ormus. I have video series on that. My alien encounter, they might ask me about my death experience. Where I went out of body up into the firmament, into heaven. I have another experience, have a demonic attack experience when I was 18 or 19. That was in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I have, a lot of experiences. I've been an experiencer. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience. I just stopped my last video because I get these banners that say this stuff. And this is why I'm doing this right now at this hour with no one in here, because I want this to go out and continue, because I want to watch it, see how long it goes and what happens. Because the last time I stopped it, it sounded fine. So if I'm abusing your attention, or you see me popping up with a live stream for the last 3 or 4 hours, on and off, it's because I have to stop it, go change a setting, try it again, stop it. And I thought I'll just keep doing it tonight until I get it right. And I meant to be a poet, but I didn't know it. So, what else have we got? I've got a video on Attis that people like. Who is Attis? Who is Kronos? The letter that Albert Pike wrote to Giuseppe Mazzini about World War I, World War II, World War III. That's a popular one in my list. I've got, what else? Jack Parsons, the guy who started Jet Propulsion Laboratories and the things in Pasadena, California. He was a friend of L. Ron Hubbard, who started Scientology and the things that they did together. What else? My Ormus videos are the most popular. I made a video about Taco Bell, the symbology, the symbols on the buildings at Taco Bell and things like that. One time. I'm surprised that one is still up, never gotten flagged or anything, and it's actually fun to watch. Some of the videos that I make, it's funny, over time I go back and I watch them, and I don't agree with everything I said because I've learned more or I've developed, You may pick a topic and say what you know about it or what you found. And then these cigarettes have like chemicals that put them out. If you don't touch it for 30 seconds, it's out. But what else? Got a new t-shirt. I got this on Mark Dice's channel. I like watching his channel. Watched him for years. And some people consider him to be maybe a little frou-frou or not all with it and everything. But no, he's written some books and he knows what he's talking about. And he can spot things that are whatever you would call organized or false. He likes to walk on the boardwalk in San Diego like Jay Leno. and he talks to people and asks them insane questions, and they go along with it, and he gets them to sign petitions and do crazy things. But he writes books also, so he's actually pretty dedicated. He's been doing it for like 12 or 14 years. He's been doing it for a long time, and some people think that he's been debunked as a bad YouTuber and everything. Not really. He's on cue, you know. He's, as compared to like Alex Jones. I haven't watched Alex Jones for like 5 years or more, 6 years, because he's kind of crossed the line. You know, he's been punched in the eye, that kind of thing. So some of the things he says are touching the truth, but he doesn't go all the way through with it. You know, he always stops. And I used to be into watching Jordan Maxwell. I learned a lot about the Admiralty maritime law, how the law of water trumps any law of any land, which would be a constitution, for example. And that's how these international bodies and things from the UN, NATO, you know, anything that's naval or Admiralty, international over waters, if you have someone in the White House, like when Obama was in the White House, he signed a lot of executive orders that gave the UN a lot of power. For example, if we declare a state of emergency in the United States, like let's say there are riots or rumors of a war or whatever, you know, then all they have to do is declare a state of emergency, and troops from all over the world come here, just like we were Iraq with UN inspectors and things like that, you know. Where it's already set up, the executive orders have been signed. Unless those are done away with, that's going to happen. So anyway, so I'm aware of a lot of things that are happening in the future. In my family, they get upset with me because about like in December of 2015, Congress passed a law that said you would have to have passports in the United States to travel around different regions. And I told my sister that, and we were driving in the car, and she almost pulled over the car and made me get out and walk, and was yelling at me, "You say the craziest things," you know. And she forgot about that. And then like 2 years ago, we were at my mom's birthday party, and she walked up to me and she'd forgotten. She goes, "Do you know you have to have a passport when you go through airports now in the United States? Isn't that crazy?" And I said, "You've completely forgotten, haven't you?" That's when you yelled at me and said that was the craziest thing you've ever heard. That's what I told you 4 years ago. I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I told him that this was about 3.5 years ago. I said, "You're going to be seeing legislation to ban guns, and it's going to happen at state levels." And he got so pissed off, he just stormed away and quit talking to me. But last year, actually, I think it was in March, they had the first, or was it this year? No, it was last year. The first armed march around the Capitol in Richmond, Virginia, and people came from all over the United States to support that. There's legislation being written, and I think it was supported by Bloomberg, to restrict guns in Virginia. It was the largest armed march of American citizens around a state capitol in the country in history. And it happened like 2 years after I told my brother-in-law, "You're going to see legislation in states trying to be passed, and people are going to march in the streets with guns." And it happened. So in the family, I keep teasing them and saying, you know, if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, just ask me, you know, because it's not because I have any magical steps or I do anything magical, but if you're paying attention and you read the news and you read books that people write, like some of these elite people that we talk about, they write books. And you don't even have to read the books, but if you look at their interviews and they talk about their books and what their beliefs are and what their main reason for writing the book is and what it's about, then you may hear quotes from the books. See, I don't read that many books in depth. My vision's not that good for reading. I can only get like 20, 30 vision, 20, 40. So as I've gotten older, reading's not that fun because I have a severe astigmatism. But so I like to read. If someone puts out a book, I find the video interview of that person talking about their book. What else? We're going to see how the quality came out in this video and if it stayed up the whole time. It says I have an excellent connection, and it's 1:50 a.m. my time. And this is my Alex Aquarius live stream number 21, Ask Me Anything. And this is the first one that's been this long. And no one has come on here yet. And it is it's Friday morning. I don't know why no one is seeing this. It might be because of what I talked about, because it's my channel. And you know, my channel's been Alex Aquarius, and I had the Plain Mundane show. I talked a lot about flat earth. They got rid of all those people, and I survived somehow. But my view counts went from, you know, like I was getting over 2,000 views a day, which is pretty small for someone just over 1,000 subscribers, but big enough for me. But it dropped to 500, then it dropped to 250, and then it went to 100. Now it's at 50 a day. And it's obviously being throttled down. So I haven't really been motivated to put up that many videos. But I'm announcing I'm going to start a new channel, and I'm going to talk about my my journey to health and how I'm recovering from everything that's happened to me in the last year, lapsing into bad habits and all the stress and misery that's been in my life, and how now it's turning around. And I've gone through in the last, let's say, since 2008, about 13 or 14 years, intense study, you know, and it's all because of YouTube. Before it was drastically changed, everyone that was in it learned a lot, that was digging for truth, going in the rabbit hole, looking at how things work. And all the videos that people were putting up were awesome, and a lot of people have disappeared, lost the platform. They've gone to other platforms, you know, like BitChute and Library and others, but it's not the same. It was fantastic. You know, when I got in, I thought, wow, people are making money, and they were running, they were monetized, and they had commercials, and they were running ads, and they were having good second income. Some of them, you know, it would take over as their primary income. And as I was taking care of my parents and I couldn't go to my career full time, I thought, this is good. And right about the time I got into it and just got my channel, and then I was learning how to do videos, and my equipment and the cameras I had were bad, and the sound was bad. About the time I got it all together and started making plans was when the new CEO came in, and she started getting rid of all the truthers and flat earthers and all that stuff. So now when you go on YouTube, basically, when I go on there, I'm finding channels about food and animals and top 10 lists and a bunch of other just retarded, you know, realities, people picking up people on the beach, and relationships and dating and doing crazy stunts. And it's not about truth anymore. It's not about research anymore. It's not about sharing what's coming in the future anymore. It's not about warning your loved ones and your brothers and sisters on Earth. It's not about the planet anymore. It's not about much. It's just become the new television and the ads and the control. It's a lot of the videos are the same things that are on television. The shows are actually just loaded over onto television. Now you can watch Netflix through YouTube, and it's just it's been disheartening, because it was a great platform for people who were so excited to finally be able to have somewhere where they could speak. And there are a few people that are still successful on, you know, for example, talking about Tartaria or ancient secret societies, and the ancient redheads that visited all the shores of every continent back 5,000 years ago, you know, the Hyksos and the Phoenicians and Sumerians, and I like all that stuff and all that history. I've been to Egypt. I've been through the Mummy Museum. I've been into a lot of, I've been all over the world, all the major cities in the world, through sales and marketing of medical devices and life science equipment. But I don't do that anymore, and luckily, the cryptocurrency market has come around so much that I did my first reportings with the IRS last year for trades, and so now I'm known to the federal government as a cryptocurrency investment trader. That's my title. So some days it doesn't take much. Some other days you have to spend the day rearranging and moving things around. You know, sometimes exchanges that you're on disappear. I had an exchange in China that just disappeared. A couple of $1,000s in it. I had Binance. When Binance, for example, now I'm in Texas. You're not allowed to be on Binance if you're in Texas for some reason. I don't even know why. But you do have to watch it every day if you're into it. But I'm rambling now. There are no questions and there's no one here. We're going to see how the quality of this went. And if it's good enough, I'm going to leave it up. And I hope you watch it. And I hope you have a great day. Please comment and see what we'll talk about for next time. And I'll keep doing it because I would like to. You know, when I first started my channel, I wanted income and I needed income. And right now, I'm not even thinking of monetization or using this or having it cost you anything, not even any time to watch a commercial or anything. No sponsors, nothing. I might eventually get a good sponsor, who knows. But you have a great day, however you found this. God bless you, and have a great day. Bye.